So this video here, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why you shouldn't buy the Canon R7. Caused a bit of a stir with you guys, but I own one of these. And this is 35mm APS-C sensor, so what the hell? Let me explain. So I've captured some of my best work I've ever shot in my life on this camera. And this is technically an APS-C camera. It's a crop sensor. Now this is a red. There's gonna be some obvious differences between this and your typical cheaper APS-C camera, like the R7. They kind of come from the same family. I wouldn't have gone and invested, 20, 30 grand in a red camera, which is an APS-C crop camera, if I thought they were that bad. Let's have some common sense. Don't go throwing your APS-C camera in the bin just yet. Chill out. So I've shot some beautiful images with this camera, and that has a lot to do with the whole red digital cinema science, their color science, how they put their cameras together. But it's also allowed me to work with an APS-C camera for the last 10 years that I've had this thing. So when I do a video on why you shouldn't buy an APS-C camera, it's a little bit of clickbait, but there is also some truth behind it. I've used these systems a lot. I've used 35mm reds. I've used 7Ds. I've used A7S3s. I've used C200s. I've used a lot of systems. So I think I kind of can speculate on what I like better. This is not saying that you should follow everything that I say. I'm just throwing another opinion out there so you guys can get the full picture. Now, contrary to my previous video, an APS-C camera is great for some people. People that are just getting started into videography or photography and are not sure. People who don't have a big budget. People who are going to be traveling and want a lighter kit. So just like the last video, how I listed out those negative points about the APS-C camera, I'm going to now flick you guys some positives. The first positive is obviously it's great for getting more focal length out of your lenses. The second positive is they're normally lighter and much smaller than full frame. The third is generally your lenses are also going to be smaller and lighter. Number 4 is having a smaller and lighter camera is obviously going to make this great for travel. Number 5 is APS-C cameras are great for someone who is learning. Number 6 is they are generally much cheaper than full frame. So there are definitely benefits and negatives to both systems. It really just depends on what you're shooting, why you have the camera in the first place. Are you shooting professionally? Are you shooting video? Are you shooting stills? It really depends on what you're shooting and your individual needs and requirements from that camera. If you want to see the negatives of APS-C cameras, check the link up there. It's a cracker. Check the comment section. Goes off like a frog on a sock. Now, I just have to also say that there is a reason why camera manufacturers always have a flagship camera, and generally those cameras are full frame. And why is that? There's a couple of reasons. It's not always because they're better, but they're geared towards the professional. Now, me being a professional, I want to use professional gear and high-end gear, and I enjoy using a full frame camera. So I'm going to go out and buy a full frame camera. If you are not a professional or someone who's, in the professional video or photography field, you're just an enthusiast, you like taking photos, you want to capture, your family vacation, then an APS-C camera is going to be absolutely fine for you. This debate only really comes into play when we're getting down to the nitty-gritty details. For me, I just love shooting with full frame lenses and a full frame camera. So normally on a full frame body, you're gonna have more buttons that are geared towards the professional. Whereas on an APS-C camera, they're generally more plastic based, they feel lighter, they feel a little bit cheaper. Full frame is, more high end, it's more durable, they're generally weather sealed, the list goes on. There's just some tiny little differences between the two that sets the full frame apart. But when it comes to quality and shooting with an APS-C camera, most people won't even be able to tell the difference. It's only when you put them side by side, you may be able to just see a slight difference. But we don't really shoot like that in the real world. People don't see side by side exact images, so no one's really going to know the difference. So I'm just going to throw this out there, and I said this in my previous video, and a hot tip is if you can afford to step up to full frame, then why not do it? If you are thinking that you may be doing this professionally, or you want to take this seriously and you want to save that extra $500 to $1,000 to step up into full frame, why not do it to begin with? Now, I'm not saying you have to do this. This is just a suggestion, because when I first started, I wish someone had told me this. I spent a lot of money on APS-C cameras and lenses, and within 12 months, I wanted to upgrade to full frame. So I could have saved a lot of time and money if someone had just been honest with me and said, look, why don't you just wait? Full frame's the standard. Just wait. Now, I'm also talking from a video perspective. I'm not a professional photographer and don't claim to be, so photography is a whole different kettle of fish. APS-C cameras for photography, especially sports and wildlife and macro photography and all that stuff, APS-C is probably the better way to go. If you're doing portraits and landscapes, maybe not. But this video is coming to you from someone who owns a video production company and has done for the last 10 years, running all different types of camera systems. So this is just my personal opinion. And believe me, not everyone's going to be happy about it. They never are. You can't keep everybody happy. Now, I'd also just like to throw it in there to really confuse everybody. Some of the Sony full frame cameras actually come with a crop mode. So you can put your full frame camera into crop mode, which is kind of cool. They also have clear image zoom. So you're kind of utilizing that 1.5 to 1.6 times crop in a full frame camera, which is amazing. You're kind of getting the best of both worlds. So please, if you don't have the money for a big full frame kit, go and get the cheaper APS-C camera, go get your skills up, have fun, enjoy photography, enjoy videography. That's what this is about. You don't have to have the best gear all the time. You have to sit down and assess the needs of what you want. Any camera is better than no camera. So do not get discouraged when you see videos that, say, oh, don't buy this or don't buy that. Read further into the video and use your common sense. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope you did like the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.